Right, and we are good to go here. So let's get started gradually. We do have some old clips from the earlier games, and as it is the anniversary and otherwise also a special day, we do also have different, like more sparkly design this time, which should of course appear elegant also on camera, it seems, so should be good. And indeed we start off with going fishing. So let's move towards the game and wait for viewers to filter in, so we can start also talking about the old clips from the year or so before. So let's get to it with the game proper here. So move towards the game and indeed do a bit of fishing before we start with the old clips, so people have had time to filter in. There we go, and let's see how this goes. We even get a bonus for logging in, though it has been a while since we have done the fishing. So 450 cash, alright. Then we have some kind of fishing tournament or something, it seems. And missions, let's see for a mission. Become a true Lone Star Explorer. Catch the listed fish in this lake. Right. So we need to catch blacktail shiner, green sunfish and golden shiner. Right. Fair enough. So let's see, can we catch these here? Most probably plenty of fish on offer it seems. Do we actually have everything in order? Would look like it, that we have all the things necessary actually attached to our fishing equipment, as the overall mode of equipment ordering in this game is about 10 times more complicated than the ultimate fishing simulator, which makes it somewhat less ultimate when you consider that Fishing Planet has much more complicated equipment setup. So let's go fishing. And we do have some laden, but in this case fortunately we do not need to survive the server crash like you had to pin for Confuzzled, even that survived the 2019 server crash, which was indeed quite descriptive of that event. Right, do we have bait? We have 22 red worms and we have a hook attached and everything, so looks more or less realistic to catch fish with that setup also. So we should have no problems in that respect either. So let's go for maybe half an hour of fishing so that viewers have had time to join, and then we move towards the first old clip, which will be actually the first stream ever on 16th April 1 year ago, which is why the anniversary party is a bit late, as the stream actually started approximately 2 months earlier. We do also have clip from exactly today, a year ago, and we do have some newer ones, like the first ever session of Darkest Dungeon we played, and a couple of other ones. Oh, hello there, thank you. And as mentioned a bit earlier, also we do for the anniversary have different style. It's more blue and sparkly, so it also looks pretty nice on camera. And hello there also, and welcome to the stream. It's great to see you also online. You get a wave, of course. So very thankful for having you join also here. And let's see about fishing itself now for some time, maybe half an hour, so that we get viewers have time to filter in, and we maybe catch something. It's like, what time is it? 20:33, which is might prefer morning. Let's see, can we? There was some way to advance the time to remember, but let's test for now. That wasn't exactly the best throw ever. Let's try again. Like, let's just drop the fishing. There we go. Now we have some power to the throw. And then we watch the fishing bobber to see if anything gets interested. Quite calm type of activity. The Ultimate Fishing Simulator was even more so, because it had less complications to it, so it would be like you just calmly watch and see if you catch any fish. Ah, yeah, I noticed, Rich Harry, that you hadn't done almost any streams for a very long while, so it would be nice to see you start at it again. Do remember you did some kind of arcade games or such, and it was quite interesting concept. And thank you, Tikatron, for the congratulations. Of course, happy to have you here. So it seems we haven't yet gotten much attention with the fishing. Let's see what was the way to advance time. Right, that's how you adjust brakes. T, alright, fair enough. T for time. Let's reel that in and try more of like morning. Do not terribly, usually like the evening, as far as have observed. So let's reel it in and try in like it didn't claim there was a fish there, so right, let's reel it in. There we go, and fast forward the time to 7 a.m. Alright, and it costs 1,000. Sure. We did gain XP, though we didn't really catch anything. Let's see if the morning works better for us. There we go, a good strong cast, and then we again start waiting. We have almost maximum brake setting, so let's lower that a bit and see how it works out. Oh, hello there, you foxy. Oh, bounces. Looks like we are not indeed catching much yet. Maybe we should try different type of the set of equipment in a while. It's not looking very interesting. Oh, hello there, Ragabash. Oh, doing well, would say, and of course the special stream, and as noted earlier, do have also like special looks this time with the more sparkly and more blue design for the occasion. And then we still wait for fish, but it's been like quarter of an hour, so in 15 minutes we start looking at a couple of the first old clips. It seems at least this is not the method to catch any fish this far. So let's try different, like instead of bait with the lure, as it seems that doing the red worm in this lake hasn't done much for us. Alright, let's see. Right, this at least looks different, so let's cast with this. Right, this is a casting spoon, so this do think we need to reel in. Yes, there's the indicator of the movement of the lure, so it's kind of like how you want to bait with it. Is it stop and go or baiting strategy? So let's make the lure move. There's the indicator for how it moves in relation to the surface, which is important tactically to make it move so that it may attract the attention of fish. Morning should be pretty good for the reflective lure. Alright, let's cast again. And then again try to lure some fish. Alright, not much on that cast either, so let's change direction a bit and see if it works better in that direction, would think. So let's see. Let's see about trying again to catch something. At least a different direction, so let's get the lure going. Do rather like the dynamics of the fishing game. It's quite calm and relaxed mostly. And we can of course also do straight, slow, and see if it works better. Alright, at least not yet. So another go, and let's try this time more of like instead of stop and go, let's just pull it through and see how that works for us. Whether the fish would be more interested, because there's something also to the tactics of how you move the lure. Alright, do think would like to try also a different spot by now. Kind of. Let's throw a short cast there, as there are some like fish signs, and try some stop and go, because the water surface shows that somebody at least is there. Let's see how that goes. There are some fish because the water surface breaks at times, so somebody's there, but they clearly haven't bothered to try and eat the hook that have been providing to them. Alright. Yeah, the view is nice and the game is very nice, but the fish are kind of not very mentionable yet. And welcome to the anniversary party slash overall birthday stream. So we still fish for about 10 minutes and then look at some of the old clips next. Let's, like in Darkest Dungeon, increase the illumination a bit also here. There we go. Illuminate, and this probably shows also the anniversary sparkles better. Yes, it is, which is why it's both. Do have the special sparkly blue edition of Spectra this time, and it's also birthday and the 1 anniversary party of the stream. So in addition to fishing, we are looking at some old clips soon. We do have the first stream ever, and then we do have a bit later some of the early games, which were quite different in the sense that didn't play as many simulators, had some old titles, and then played things like one playthrough of Diablo 3 actually early on, in addition to the fantasy general strategy game. So it was a bit different at that time. Yay. So let's try a couple of more casts of fishing. Maybe the rod is not cast. We hit it in. Alright, it was like 2. Let's move. What else we do have position wise? Apparently not much. If we look at, like, there's also the one that requires boating. What happens? Alright. We can even go boating, but we can cast also from this platform. So let's see. If we do not want to go boating, but rather just cast from here. Can we actually also climb? Yes, we can. Let's try this. This game is at least somehow multiplayer. It has other players appearing, but there seems to be quite limited interaction. Let's try the straight pull. Straight pull this time, that we just pull the lure through close to the surface and see if we get any interest. Alright, we have a customer. And we do have approximately right brake setting as we can. Alright, let's increase the brake 1. There we go. Now we can actually make use of the whole tension available. Let's see if we can force it to reel in gradually. At least it's getting away slower. Yeah, it seems we are making some headway. At times at least. Alright, fortunately we have 70 meters of line to... Alright, we are making some up on the fish, so let's keep going. At least it seems this brake setting would be the right one, as we are using pretty much the maximum tension capacity of the line. Alright, and now we are quickly can reel the fish in a bit, so this seems to be a fight we can possibly make as the fish gets more tired, but it's quite tight with this equipment. It's not going to be easy, as clearly we are like pretty much at the limit of tension we can put out, and the fish does at times get some more line, so it's kind of right. We are down to 15, so we have a lot of leeway, as we have 70 meters on the reel, so as long as we do not run out of line or the fish doesn't spurt so quickly that it would break, we are more or less in a winning scenario. Right. And certainly keeping the fight up. At least here the brake can't like catch on fire like in some cases with real fishing reels. You can have the brake catch on fire from fighting the fish when it overheats, so it's kind of like, fortunately this has kind of ideal model of the fishing brake, that you just get tension but you do not totally run out of like thermal capacity at the brake. At least fish in this game is usually much harder to reel in compared to Ultimate Fishing Simulator, where I have tried almost everything else but the marlin, and the marlin should be like hard, but never caught anything on the place where you had the marlins. It mostly would just reel the lure back in. The marlin was kind of unwilling to perform as far as tried, so at some point return to that game and try to catch the marlin. Alright, we are slowly getting the fish closer, so it might be that we are winning, as it's mostly no longer putting up the maximum tension, so seems the fish is a little bit tired by now. Yeah, we are getting pretty close to reeling the thing in, so yes. New personal record, bonefish, and here we have 1.8 kilograms, 52 centimeters, and 442. So here's our fish. Looks good, and let's keep it, as it's over 400. So that was some nice fishing. Actually took a lot of fighting and adjusting the brakes a bit, so now that we caught the fish and it's been about half an hour, let's take a look at the very first stream ever. So let's see if this works. First setting that up here, and then seeing seeing how it works out. So let's see. So we of course want to get there we go. So let's move the view over with change first back here and then move the capture over. There we go. So now we should have the very first stream available. So let's move back that way. There we go. This is actually the very first stream that ever did. There may be some recognizable aspects, like overall the design and also the suit, and the room of course has only changed a bit. Back then positioned oneself a bit differently and had very little resolution, which explains the kind of overall not the best image ever, and also had 3 followers at the point, which of course Luna was the first one ever. Then there's Ragabash, who is even here, and Angelo, so it was more or less like Ragabash has probably been most of all on this stream ever. And we played Medieval Lords, Warrior Kings of Europe by Martin C. Campion, which is kind of historical, more or less educational game, which is would say spiritual predecessor to Crusader Kings series, as it more or less simulates the politics and warfare of early medieval Europe in a rather detailed fashion. And the game also looks the part for 1980s educational game, so it has map and a lot of complex tables, and we are all the time running out of cash while also trying to wage war with King of France and always losing due to Duke of Brittany or such. So, and we played a single session of that with like pretty predetermined endpoint to think like 100 years, and actually did alright. And that was the first game we ever played. Back then had not really even chosen the signature color yet, and had kind of some old elements from the earlier like the Streamlabs studio directly, so it looked a bit different. Hadn't yet come up with the idea of putting the fancy titles on the lower part of the view either, so it was kind of more simple. But that was indeed the first stream. The audio also is very low volume, because back then didn't really have the idea how to adjust the level exactly for the fursuit head, so it was kind of not very audible, but overall that went well for the first real stream, because there were 2 test streams before that when had no webcam yet, so did kind of like testing only. Some saw, do know there were a couple of viewers for the first ones ever, like the overall technical tests. Played one game of this game, the Medieval Lords, which actually crashed with some kind of exception, and played Raptor, Call of Shadows, which is quite well known game. Might play that on stream sometime again also. It's never been played on the stream officially, except the very early one. Do not have recordings of those as it more or less took a while that understood how to record them, so actually do not have recordings of the first 2 earlier April that year, but this is the first one of which do have the real recording also. So this was actually more or less the beginning. And also in the beginning of the stream did some backgrounder on the game and other games Martin C. Campion had done, like Rails West and Masters and Slaves, which back then educators had kind of claimed to be problematic for gamificating slavery, but he noted that it was also historically correct, so it was kind of interesting overall. So that was the very first stream, and after the couple of the first ones we actually also improved resolution. So let's move back to the fishing screen for a moment, and let's look at another clip still before fishing more. So let's switch back to the camera and search for the next clip here. So let's see what we have next. To think that Fantasy General, which was quite popular, like the first especially popular game on the stream, do think, as the early, like did also a few other 1980s games, and they more or less remained an experiment, as it seemed that not that many had interest in the more strategic slash like computer RPGs that had very old UIs, so have played them a bit less recently and done a bit more modern simulators in that respect. So let's see. The next clip is not quite actually yet Fantasy General. It's MTG, as the second game we actually did extensively was the MTG Arena. So we have the certain familiar avian actually playing MTG. So let's take a look. And we also have improved resolution by this time, so alright, let's see. Yeah, there we go. We have the familiar avian playing MTG Arena here, and this was kind of already in the more modern format with the follower or event list and kind of like various sentences at the bottom, as used a bit different format still back then. So we had somewhat comparable setup to the current one by that time, that we were doing a bit different one, and had increased resolution considerably, as the very few original ones were done with very low resolution. So now we also do have a bit more audio level and would play. Let's fast forward a little, so we would play MTG Arena with the avian and did all the basic like practice quests and won a few players, like maybe leveled up one league. Then didn't really get up to building a custom deck yet at that point. So started later on playing the older MTG game to play through the content that was provided in that for single player, and intend to return to the MTG Arena later on again. Oh, yeah, the Griffin hasn't lately been gaming for a good while. Do you think that the only ones that the Griffin actually played were the MTG Arena ones? The Griffin always played MTG Arena, and do not think the Griffin has played anything since then. So of course, if you want, we could at some point return with the Griffin for some game again also. It was a pretty nice suit to play in. Do think there was nothing like majorly wrong with it. So in that respect also we could have more of the Griffin again in the future. So let's again, like, all of these are available on YouTube on the archive page, so you can actually also watch long format ones of these if you want from the previous summer. So having looked at a couple of these, let's again fish a bit and then move to the next two ones, where we also have like the stream that was on this day exactly a year ago. So we actually had a stream on this day also exactly 1 year ago. We'll see that in a while. So let's close that and move again towards the fishing for a while and then see more old clips. So those were the first two ones. The first one we saw like the very first layout that didn't last very long, and the first 3 followers in addition to the first game we ever played, and that was indeed the first stream we did in that respect. So let's change over again for some fishing. Oh, perk! Then we need to of course oblige you that then we do not do fishing, but we rather provide a different fursuit moment. We actually can do the jackal, but not yet. It was for the first time for the 100 party, and that actually will be further on, but considering you spent the points, let's do it anyway, but it takes a moment, so let's go for it. Yes, do have 101, but this is not the 100 followers party, this is the anniversary one, because there are 2 like in quick succession, so actually the jackal was intended for the next one proper, but considering the jackal will not be very long with us for other reasons very soon, so we'll be doing the jackal at least to a degree, so you get what you want. Moment. This will take a little bit longer in that case. So let's then switch mostly the fishing and disappear for a moment, and then we in any case do the jackal. So we wave here quickly and change fursuit as requested, though in this case we'll provide the jackal head and keep the kind of anniversary party outfit otherwise in this case as we'll see what we actually get to. One of these special effect lands. That's also a very nice copy the tree. Very nice. So it's also useful to land. Another special land. Quite land heavy. It's a snow dew on two special. Very land pattern. Non-base for the wind. Right, and this one. It's down there. Not quite as strong as the blue one, which actually makes a copy. Right, that's rather dangerous with the foretell, because you get back 4-4. Interesting, requires like resources before you can see dangerous surprise planning names card. especially if you have recursion. It's very effective because you can put the rest of your graveyard recursing potentially. Alright, point it has to get practical even. Also good because blanket plus 0 for extra mana. 2 cards for black, actually not bad at all with the single sacrifice, possibly useful also. So it's 2 cards for black, so 1 black in chat. Strong card. Rarity because it's actually a common, considering 2 cards, that's already a lot. Very cheap binding, but it hits you once. Useful if you can take the hit. That's like angry. Hanging. Each player sacrifices 2 creatures, so it's pretty hanging each day at least. Kind of great. 1+1 twice. Not bad because it's repeatable. That creatures every creature type. Yes, I've heard of this, but haven't seen the mechanic before. It's all creature type all the time, so everything checking for creature type always makes sense. There were also back the day in the Micro MTG there was, I believe, at least 1 creature that was a random creature type. This is of course only valuable on a computer. Very strong because all the cards foretell in your hand, and then this gets bonuses from when you foretell them. So, considering it's only 1 and black to play, it can be very powerful going onward because if everything foretell all the time. Demon Cleric, like I said. It's actually also very fun to play another game still with the standard black deck for now. That sounds pretty dangerous considering some mechanics. If you have every creature is every creature type, so it actually, especially it can be dangerous if you would get in turn the opponent could actually get you in a lot of trouble by putting I believe one of the really old homeland cards with a kind of effect out. Put out the old homeland card that actually you name a creature type and those creatures was untapped. Now all of your creatures are every creature type, so actually after that nothing would untap. So it's also kind of a liability that every creature is every creature type. But it can be interesting for other kinds of effects. Yes, but it would be dangerous for you yourself if you played it and then the other guy would put the enchantment, I think unfairing ruins or something it was called, and it would stop your creatures then from untapping if they surprised you with it. somewhat less than pleasant. Right, let's play the game. Go with this. Davis GDP. Into our GDP here. Play. You already. Take cannon footer out. Reversible. Ever really doesn't play the effect of the unit. It's actually so expensive, even if it makes the opponent will feel items like hit and flash. It takes pretty late in the game considering the creature. It's not cheap, it's not expensive. Play the thing for two. Not very supported by E1 because they don't have mana currently. Much bigger, so that's exposed. Black and grey. Go pretty big with time with the pressures and bonuses for I think we'll assassinate them. Back to all. Right, now he's doing great. Good. Game isn't pretty good this far for us. Now Alright, you get what you pay for, but this will not be used for actual gaming or anything else, as I'm able to make out of the screen mostly that it has the jackal on it. The vision is by far insufficient to actually play anything with this. It looks very good to think from what you can see, but it's not going to be usable, and this was why I kind of hesitated, because this hasn't been tested. So it's like, no, this isn't usable for other than like looking very nice on stream. It's not usable for gaming. Can see that there's a lot of activity on the chat, which is very nice. So of course you get more jackal waves. And to actually continue the anniversary, we are going to change back soon into a fursuit where I can actually make something out of the screen, but this is for Berg and everywhere else who likes the jackal, so you have the jackal in complete jackal bodysuit, everything as it's supposed to be done. It unfortunately is not usable for gaming. Simply the resolution of the vision due to the way the mesh is done is absolutely like, can see that there's something purple on screen, there's the jackal on screen, and everything else is insufficiently detailed. So it's like the jackal likes you all, but there isn't much we can do other than look nice. So going to change back and check. Can see there's something interesting happening in the chat, but unable to make out anything of it. So probably there's like a hype train, the first one ever, or something else nice going on. So can only say that the jackal love you all, and consider this party special, as this suit is not usable for gaming. We learned that, but that's not an issue. So thankful for all your support, and clearly the jackal was well liked, so very thankful for that. Unfortunately we can't really go gaming or show videos as the vision is so limited, but we'll again say that the jackal really like you all and changes back into Spectra to continue the content proper, but the jackal has made an appearance, and we are going to go forwards after have changed back, as this is not tenable for gaming proper, unfortunately. But thank you for all your support, and certainly happy that the jackal is so well liked. So thank you all, and we'll return in a moment again with the other fursuit and check the chat, as there clearly was a lot of activity with the jackal. Thank you. And jackal still likes you all. protection from named card. I haven't seen this before. It's almost like a humor card, name a card, which is literally the name of the card rather than a type or some specific protection, but it also costs only 2 white, so interesting. Six trample, pretty paid green stuff, colorless, mana, 13 life, not bad, non-pay, so like some life gain big one, tire one, and two what's remaining, so we have as well. Your opening hand doesn't contain any early play. Consider taking a mulligan. Sound advice. Hey! Sounds like I don't think we are going to win someone called the Ace. We'll try. I can't start if we do have an early drop. We can go on with something stupid. Alright, try one for a card. Really a blue player also to say avatar it seems. Right, but we are getting the fourth state out quite nicely. Right, let's hope they get something out soon. Alright, and we are back again, so let's return with the fursuit where we can actually observe surroundings. So we are back, and thank you for all the attention and the remembering both apparently the jackal and the birthday. It seemed the jackal was very popular indeed, so thank you all for that. The jackal is really happy at the attention and that he was well liked. Unfortunately, can't really game with the jackal because the view is so extremely limited that could see like there's something purple, namely the window like the event list, and then there's something like the jackal on screen, but otherwise it was almost impossible to see anything or any details. So the vision of the jackal is not really comparable to the other suits, so it's quite impossible to game with it, unfortunately. But otherwise, really thankful for all the attention, and indeed the changed fursuit request do think was properly fulfilled, unless Berg disagrees, though changed back to be able to continue the stream itself. So Spectra returned, and the jackal again thanks you for all the attention. It was really nice for the birthday also, so really thankful for all the new subscriptions and the first hype train ever, which was really nice. Hadn't seen that yet, and saw it with jackal, so was kind of wondering. It most probably was one of those, so that was really nice. Thank you all again. So extending certainly my thanks for the, and in that respect also seems that there was a couple of new. Yes, Sky Husky was as noticed, was first time and immediately cheered, so thank you Sky Husky 21 really for the cheer with the jackal, so really appreciated. Thank you all for the wonderful attention in that respect. So let's bounce a bit more here, and then do think that we are good to go good to go maybe even to the next old clip here. So let's dig that out for you. We have had a couple of old clips and there are a few more, so this should be the game that was popular early on, the fantasy genre, really old SSI war game from mid 1990s that we actually played as far as we could, as this one ran out of talent. So that's of course kind of like you observe that you played the game and then you ran out of talent, which was in this case pretty much the reality, because the game is quite demanding to say the least. So yeah, there we are. So let's see. Alright, there's some gameplay going on, and let's change that. Oh, bounce. So let's proceed to again change views to the video. There we go, and then change the capture source. Yes, there we are. And then let's see how that would work. Nope, it's not very different. So switch over to the video, and we indeed played the SSI war game as long as we ran out of talent, because it's quite difficult. So it's very mid-90s custom UI, and the skunk would play this, and we actually had a lot of work going into that, like what kind of units to use, how many to buy, and so on. And it gets very hard to maintain your economy, like we are considering merits of various units in very detailed fashion, and how much we can spend money, how many units we can buy, and so on. It's really towing the line to have anything to deploy, and then we go, there's a story to it, and then we go to battles, deploy units, and then move them and try to win. And this game is actually, it gets really difficult. We played for some sessions and got up to the third island, and this one hasn't ever been actually able to succeed beyond the third island. Like the third one already gets so difficult that you have really hard time winning. The computer starts to get a lot of high grade units, and it's really hard to keep going. Even if you try to build a very balanced army, then you can't really upgrade units, and it's very hard to keep the economy in balance. And it has kind of like nice pencil drawings of all the units, which are, it's also interesting to examine all the units as they all have like nice pictures, also pencil drawn graphics, a lot like some RPG, tabletop RPG source book. So this game was actually pretty popular early on the streams. We played it as far as we could before we ran out of talent, so that actually was pretty nice also. Should try that again at some point, but it really requires starting again, as we kind of ran out of units on the third island, because the attrition rate gets really high, and then you can't really can't really repair mechanical units and can't really upgrade units, and you kind of run into a brick wall unless you have really carefully kept your economy in check. So it was kind of nice game, but we never really made it as far in it as one might hope for. And of course also Silver Fox Wolf, you get a wave separately, as it's really good to see you here, and always pleased to have you watch the streams, so thank you once again. And yes, that was another old clip, and let's do one more before we move back to the fishing game, so I can update the and move back to the webcam and pick out the next old clip. And this one is actually from exactly 1 year ago on this day. And we are playing Diablo 3 with the main wolf, so another different fursuit featuring in this video also. Alright, there we go. And then change the image over. Right, didn't agree to show anything. Let's try again. There we go. Now it actually bothered to show. So we had the main wolf, and would actually do a complete playthrough of Diablo 3 the previous summer, and there we have the main wolf playing through like the last part of the game with the rifts and the various missions and inventory management in general. We had already finished the main game, and we would do kind of various missions to finish it off. This was the last stream of the Diablo 3 campaign, so we actually did that as the last part of the Diablo 3 campaign, and would play with the main wolf. The main wolf also played Neverwinter Nights. We played that for quite a few sessions early on. Just didn't like that the game would sometimes crash, not just the game, it crashed pretty much everything, so it was kind of like would have to actually reboot and continue stream afterwards, which was not very good, so gave up after a couple of chapters of Neverwinter Nights. But this was indeed what we did for a good while with the main wolf. In addition to the Diablo 3 playthrough, we did the Neverwinter Nights, and would probably continue Neverwinter Nights at some point if can find a way to not have it crash sometimes the whole thing. That was pretty much the only game that have had consistent problems with, was the Neverwinter Nights crashing pretty much so that the reboot is needed, which made it kind of a ill-behaved game to keep playing, as would run out of viewers when going offline with a crash repeatedly, so that was not such a good thing. But yes, this was exactly 1 year ago to the day we were playing Diablo 3 for the last time back then. So this is also available on YouTube. We have a complete archive actually of every stream since the first one we saw earlier in this stream shortly. Every stream is archived there and will appear in time when have it's time to upload them. We will have every stream practically also over there. So we still do have a couple of old clips, and we have been going with the fursuit changes for 1.5 hours now. So let's do some fishing again for maybe 20 minutes, half an hour, and then have the last 2 old clips and talk a bit, and then probably finish for tonight. But we are at least doing a solid 2.5 hours, as this is a special, so certainly we will keep going a bit longer still. So let's stop this in turn and change over again. Hello, and stop the video here. Back then we apparently had Decathlon had only recently followed us also a year ago, so it was still in the event list, which is also fun to see now that we were pretty new with Decathlon. So let's get back to the fishing for a while. There we go, and switch over to the fishing. There we go, and let's see if we can catch more fish. We did have very nice fight with the fish earlier on. That was really nice. Probably the best fight that I've had. Alright, let's see if we can catch some more fish here. Alright, it's pretty much noon now. Unsure if the same lure works well, as it's not very bright weather, and it mostly, as far as I understand, is based on reflectivity. But let's try anyway. Alright, good clean cast, and let's start reeling it in. Let's do the kind of straight pull this time and see how that works for us. And at least not yet much interest fish-wise. Let's see, it's kind of not the optimal weather probably for this kind of lure. But it's almost 30 degrees, so at least it's not too cold, would think. Alright, not much to write home about. another cast, and let's this time do more of a stop and go style baiting. And see if that helps any, or is it even like on such overcast sky, is this lure even workable? At least we are doing the stop and go pretty well, but it seems that no fish has yet gotten interested in our service offering. Alright, let's try again with the bait next. Oh, hello there, master of time, space, and welcome. It's good to see you. Do remember you followed earlier, so great to see you, and you of course get a wave and you're welcome. We had some very generous critters here earlier, especially with a jackal making an appearance, has changed fursuit for a while, so you're certainly welcome. There were some generous critters present, so in that respect was a really nice surprise. Also for birthday, as still for a while it's also this one's birthday, so in addition to being the first anniversary stream, this was the birthday one, so in that respect has been very nice to see many of you here. Let's see how the worm works. At least we got a really long cast, like maximum force. And for once our fishing poppers, it's exactly straight. I'm sure if that helps with actually catching any fish, but at least it looks like it's probably supposed to be. Then it's another matter if we still catch any fish, but it at least looks as it's supposed to. Like more fishing like. At least we didn't earlier have any result at all with the bait, so kind of curious. Let's see that there's not a separate button like for actually adding the bait, so that we actually do have the bait on the hook. Would seem so there's no separate command for adding bait, so would seem that we are at least doing it right. Yeah, it's kind of like the weather doesn't seem very optimal. Haven't caught anything on this weather, so kind of suspicious that might not be the optimal weather either, so might be that should wait. At least not the best results. Let's return with the fish we caught and try a different location altogether, even for kind of do not like the weather really for fishing as far as experience this far in this game has dictated that usually you do not catch much fish on this kind of weather. It has seemed so. Let's reel it in and leave. And we actually made some XP also with catching the fish we fought earlier in the stream, so that was of course nice. Then we have some laden here and change location most probably next. We actually did fulfill one of the challenges also apparently. There's even a rain cloud on the map, which, yeah, the weather is kind of like, we can check the weather here, like how we even have the fish activity chart available. There's actually a lot of data in the game, it seems now that looking through the views. There's actually a separate data view for like the fish activity also, so most probably should try to make more of that also. So let's see what location we would choose next. We did also Rocky Trial. Prove your mastery by catching every kind of trout found in Rocky Lake. Let's travel to Rocky Lake and see what happens. Apparently, can we even still do the Rocky Lake? Is it in Europe? At least it's really stylish with the this side of the earth has very little fishing going on. We also have something in Alaska. Emerald Lake, Mudwater River. Let's try the Mudwater River and take a mission. Mudwater Trial. So prove your mastery by catching each species of predators found in the Mudwater River. Alright. Travel to Mudwater, catch largemouth bass, catch chain pickerel, grass pickerel, bowfin. Alright. Exotic sounding fish. So let's then go to the and let's see how it's recommended to fish around the afternoon apparently. So let's make sure we try that as we have the data available here. So a bit of laden again. I don't think there are any fisheries in Finland currently in the game, at least. Doesn't look like it, but technically otherwise if there was like a fishery configured for Finland, you could go to Finland also. So in that sense, yes and no. So let's see how our, so we have 2 positions. Let's try on that side. And now we remember that we would like the afternoon, so let's wait a bit. There we go. And let's try with the other. There we go. We also have use of a boat, but what if we just cast mildly along the, like there's a bend in the river, it looks like, so let's try and cast like slightly against the river. And then we again try to actually catch something. At least it's good stop and go rhythm, but doesn't look like we are getting much subscribers yet. At least moves a lot as we are very close to the, so practically pulling it out of water. Right. Let's do a couple of more casts, then go for another old clip. Let's do the straight pull this time and see if that gathers any more attention, like whether we should do stop and go or straight pull in this fishery is a good question. Alright, we have a customer. Alright, trophy white crappie. Wow. Half a kilogram, but it's like very interesting looking fish would say. So nice catch, and we are certainly keeping that at that value. Nice. So straight pull worked at least that time. Let's try more. Alright, again, customer. Crass pickerel. We caught one of the fish we were looking for, so very nice. 44 centimeters. 208 money, so certainly worth keeping. Yeah, this is more traditional looking, kind of like predatory fish, so actually this would be a very nice catch, and it also was for the mission, so we certainly keep that, and we fulfilled one of the mission conditions. We also leveled up, so we unlocked Emerald Lake in New York and unlocked like more items like a nice fishing vest, artificial salmon eggs, new better fishing reel, a new better fishing rod, some kind of new baits, so better fishing line. So we unlocked a lot of items, also different kind of boat, more all kinds of equipment, so and we got some money rewarded, so actually we leveled up pretty nicely also. So let's cast out and see if we can get more fish from the river. This far we have done actually pretty nice. And our catches have been the right size for the equipment, so we haven't been in too much trouble compared to the one fish we fought down earlier that took like 10 minutes plus to fight. Alright, and we again got something, so let's try and reel it in. This is a bit more feisty, but not like intractable. Alright, bigger grass, pickerel. 96, this is why we are going to release at that like value, so that was pretty good catch. Also another predatory fish, but we already had caught one of those, so not any more progress for the mission. Let's see. Can we catch something else also? Alright, another fish attached. Let's try and reel it in. This is a bit more demanding even. There we go. Another grass pickerel. 92, it's even smaller, so we are releasing it. Kind of always have the idea that if you release like the under 100 or such ones, you get better karma because you are letting fish back also, because you could some fur like once said in the comments when was doing that, like releasing the really cheap fish, he was like, every fish is money. And this one was like, yeah, but do you think that it improves your karma when you let the small fish back, because they might graduate into bigger ones in the future, even if it's a computer game. So it's like better karma for catching fish if you let the small fish back out. Tend to think kind of humorously that it's better for your overall kind of like situation. Alright, let's cast again and see. See if we can catch more. Pretty good fishing actually, compared to how difficult the game often is, that we are actually catching some fish. So also pleased in that respect. This game is comparatively more difficult than the ultimate fishing simulator, like to catch something. Right. And yes, chain pickerel, another one we needed to catch, and it's 190, so that we are keeping, and slightly over half a kilogram. Another pretty similar looking predatory fish this one. Nice, then we need to still catch largemouth bass and bowfin. So that actually worked well this far, like getting more fish there. Let's try a couple of more casts. We are coming up to the 2 hours mark also, so we can we can get more old clips soon. For the last two we have selected. Let's see if we can catch more fish with a couple of casts first. At least this far also straight pull has proven effective enough that stop and go hasn't been strictly necessary, as like every other cast almost has caught some fish, so in that respect also for now not bothering with the stop and go. Alright, and we have something going on. And we also have someone probably from online. Alright, chain pickerel. Let's keep that, and they are fishing in the opposite direction. Let's move kind of out of the way and cast. Right, we caught most of the fish in the mission even. I'm sure if the last two should like check the descriptions if they require like bigger equipment, a different lure or bait or something. Alright, we have a fish. Plastic bag. Alright, that's a new one. Haven't yet caught a plastic bag before, so very good fishing, one might say. You can't apparently do much else with a plastic bag than discard it, so at least we are removing trash from the river it seems. Oh well, let's cast a bit more up to the 2 hour mark and discard. Yeah, even games are polluted. Interesting. Alright, let's get rid of the plastic bag and try for fish again. Challenge completed. Mudwater junk collector. Alright, there was even a challenge for collecting junk. Alright. Them humans putting their trash out. It would be nice to have custom models for these fishing games, as I think Kamuniak once said that you should have like skunk paws modeled also there, or of course also fox paws. Like a great catch. We got the plastic bag even and got an achievement for that, so not totally wasted, literally. Alright, no fish this time. Oh, hello again, Ticatron. Yeah, batwings would be also nice. Alright, let's see if we can catch more before moving to the next clip. Our best catch of the day was unfortunately the plastic bag. We have already caught also several nice fish, so that was kind of a surprise. Hadn't yet seen in one of these games that you can actually catch chunk, which is of course quite realistic considering. Alright, we have a customer, and it's a pretty big one also. At least the tension is, yep, another grass pickerel, so 112, so it's over 100. Let's keep that and cast again. And reel in and see if our lure is again interesting enough for plastic bags. Alright, no luck yet, but let's have another cast again, of course. Alright, good night, Bergwolf, and hopefully you enjoyed the tackle. And thank you for joining us, so you of course get a wave. Good night for you, and it was great seeing you again and interacting with you, so thanks for joining. And good night. So let's cast one more and then proceed to the next. Oh, thank you, very pleased to hear. And let's cast one more and then go for the remaining two old clips. I'm also going to try to do the MTG, as we still have a few quests in the old single player thing remaining, so most probably trying to do the MTG session for a good while again now tomorrow. And there we have the time to go for another old clip here then. So let's see, we still have a couple selected, so there we go. Alright, this is indeed interesting one in the sense that this is actually the first time we play the Darkest Dungeon. This is the first ever session with Darkest Dungeon, which is of course of certain interest in the sense how much Darkest Dungeon has been a major game for this stream for a good while. So this is of course historical, the first stream with Darkest Dungeon. So let's take a look at the very beginning of that. So let's start a new game, and first we have to make it through the... There we go. So it's the same same suit back then, had an interesting idea still on the aspect ratio of the webcam feed for some reason. So since then this one has for some reason gotten more slender also. Hello there, Luna, great to see you. We actually had the first hype train ever on this stream earlier when we did get the Jackal suit on for some time, as the vision on the Jackal wasn't really sufficient for gaming, but now we are like looking at the very first stream with Darkest Dungeon as kind of like one of the historical clips that have been showing throughout the anniversary party. So we actually have the very first clip with Darkest Dungeon. And of course you also get the wave Luna, very good to see you here and happy to have you join the anniversary slash birthday party. And as have shown some, we also have for the anniversary slash birthday more blue and sparkly mode of the critter also for this case, instead of the usual orange base only, so a bit more also fancy for the. And there we go, the first fight ever in Darkest Dungeon. The game actually has proven to be one that have liked to play a lot, though we haven't yet, unlike Convoy and Diablo 3 and a few others, we actually finished on stream. Still not very close to finishing Darkest Dungeon. It's actually quite difficult in the overall respect of like actually getting. Hello there, Ashvalio. It's great to see you, and very nice to have you join the anniversary party also, so you get a wave. We have been watching some old clips and playing Fishing Planet in between, so this is actually historical clip, as it's the first time this one was playing Darkest Dungeon on stream ever late last year. So since then have played what like over 30 sessions and made it all the way to like consistently attacking Darkest Dungeon, but it's still like really hard. Like we went the first time for Darkest Dungeon recently and came running back, so there's still challenge certainly left in that game. That game would immediately admit. And indeed, pleased to see you. Very happy to have you join. Let's fast forward it a bit and see also. This is the first fight in the game actually, so let's watch at least as far as we win the first fight in the game. It's actually in that sense interesting that this is the first fight you come like to the old road with the two and you have to get through to make it to the hamlet, so that you can actually start the main part of the game proper. So it's interesting, like the first fight this time at least nobody died, because the first time tested the game it proved that it's kind of not exactly the easiest ever, because actually succeeded at having the other character even killed by the brigands, which made it kind of seem even more impossible than it is. Like you immediately die on the old road before even making it to the hamlet, which was kind of less than totally motivating start. But this time we actually succeeded getting both heroes through for a better start, and the campaign is still ongoing, so this is in that respect quite historical. The beginning of the very first campaign with Darkest Dungeon. Oh, thank you for the sub, really appreciated. You get another wave for subscribing, really appreciated. And of course supports the stream, as it's explained. All the proceeds from the stream and typically more are used for buying more games to play on stream. So, and there we won the first fight in the game, so that was actually quite interesting interesting start. And yes, as it's explained in the overall description, all the proceeds from the stream are used to buy more games and or equipment. Usually have bought more games to have quite a few new games to play on stream also, so very much appreciate the support. So that was the very first fight in Darkest Dungeon. We do still have one or maybe two do have apparently also some extra clips, so let's check those out and then fish a bit more and then finish for today with 2.5 or so hours at least, so we should still have a bit of content also. Right, move back the view to the fishing planet and then see, we still had at least a couple of old clips. Let's see what we have. So there we have the alright, yeah, this one needs to be forwarded to the right spot, so moment. Yeah, there's the right spot where this one is actually running away, because this was kind of a normal winter survival game, or thought so, but it proved to not totally be the case, because the game actually had, in addition to the normal hazards, some additional ones. Let's see. In addition to the normal ones, it proved quickly that the game has ghosts, which cause cold damage, and this proved more of like, yes, let's fight a ghost with a harpoon. Like constantly losing heat there, and this was one of the more confusing things, because thought this was a normal winter survival game, and then suddenly we have ghosts. And then we die of them, and found this very much puzzling, because had expected a normal winter survival game, and it proved it also has ghosts that will cause you to expire like that. So this was kind of a surprising thing. Made a complete let's play more or less of this with the overall explanation, and this actually has been pretty popular on YouTube, because this hasn't been played that much in that respect, but it was kind of like expected winter survival challenges, and then it proved there are also ghosts that steal your heat, which was not really to be expected from the overall game. It was more like a crossover between Lost and The Long Dark, so it had also some kind of weird ghost and other stuff to it, so it wasn't quite what was expecting. So in that respect this was somewhat of a surprise, but it made interesting video when this one is like, what's that, what's happening, like, and how to survive it. Then got stuck once with it and expired, so it was kind of, oh, thank you, and a nice highlight you also also used points for, so you of course get a wave. Great to see you here, Ghetto, and certainly pleased at the congratulations, so thank you once again, of course. And yes, this was kind of like, was recommended to play the Long Dark and to have that also bought, so we'll probably be playing the Long Dark at some point, because this was more than mildly confusing with the ghosts and whatever, so it was not quite what would have expected. So that was at least of the pre-selected ones. Once the last one that had immediately, but we do have at least one bonus one and might dig out one of the Neverwinter Nights, which was also a very rather important game early on for the stream, because we played it every, I think Sundays we used to play the Neverwinter Nights quite a bit, so it was actually quite important game for the early times on the stream also. So let's see what was the one further file that had there first, and then see what if we can find one of the yes, this is actually Neverwinter Nights, so did even remember correctly. And we are apparently strategizing how to get rid of a giant spider. As usual, the game is not showing its easiest sides, not at all. So let's switch to that momentarily also. And that most probably would be the last historical clip before a bit more fishing. So let's put that up. Oh, thank you again, and you of course get a wave again. Pleased to hear that you enjoyed seeing the jackal, and indeed apologies that the vision on the jackal proved immediately quite insufficient for gaming, because the mesh is different and you see very little of the display, so it was kind of not going to happen, which of course unfortunately learned only when got on stream, as it was requested directly, but as said, we'll do that. So thank you once again, and it was great having you here. Always really appreciate your presence here and your support when you do so. So let's look a bit at the Neverwinter Nights. Let's see if it there we go. Now it agreed to show. So here we are playing the Neverwinter Nights with the main wolf. The main wolf would always play the Neverwinter Nights, Sunday nights earlier on, and we played the first couple of chapters of the game, but the main issue with the game was that it actually would crash the overall computer practically, so had to reload everything, and it tended to not really be that pleasant for the viewers either to have to rejoin whenever Neverwinter Nights decided to crash. But it's very stylish, and kind of, you wouldn't believe that the game is 20 years old, which is kind of somewhat surprising now that the game is actually 20 years old and it could still, in the overall sense, be seen as modern compared to the old old ones, properly old ones computer RPGs like the Gold Box games or such, so it's kind of like it's surprisingly modern for what it is, and it also was really good multiplayer because you could play in the same adventuring party with several players, so it was and is a really good game in the genre and implements the AD&D rules very well, so always have had a lot of good things to say about Neverwinter Nights, and there's still the ongoing kind of like overall mission to play all the Neverwinter Nights games through in the future on stream, but it's been on hold for some time due to that. It crashes a bit easily with everything coming down with it, so haven't very recently played it. Also tried Dungeon Siege at one point, but Dungeon Siege 1 and 2 didn't really want to play nice. There were some comments on Twitter that you could do it in certain fashion, and we apparently have stink bugs with the fancy effects. The effects still look kind of good also, especially when you consider the age of the game. But yes, that's also one of the early games we did a lot. Neverwinter Nights, so. And we played it also somewhat in the RP sense that we would actually play evil barbarian character who was pretty greedy, so we had texts like "Crack save Neverwinter won't profit." We would always consistently ask for more money and always be told that there is no more money to be had, which somehow doesn't totally surprise this one, all things considered. So that was the last historical clip for now, so let's move back to the fishing and have a few casts to finish the evening with, and then we see who we can raid and pass on. It's been a really nice birthday / anniversary party with you all, and we fish a bit and then see who we are going to pass the viewers on to, but now it's time to at least have a bit more fishing. Alright, need to actually type something quickly. Oh, thank you, Tikatron. Right, done with what needed to type quickly, so we are good to return to the fishing. Let's have a few more casts and then see who we will raid. And of course, if you have any questions about the anniversary or otherwise, feel free to also ask in the chat. We had some historical clips of the earlier games and also other suits, and also saw the jackal for a while, so we have had a bit of different kinds of things. So let's, alright, it's still afternoon, so should be good time for fish also game wise, at least according to the fish activity data like that was provided in the screen when you would travel to the mudwater river. So let's see if something still gets interested about the bait. At least this bait has worked pretty well, so not going to change the bait probably today. Alright, not yet at least, so no plastic bag either, which was funny. Had no idea that you could also get chunk in this game a lot, like it's always a challenge to fish up some empty rum bottles in the World of Warcraft fishing, which is kind of comparatively simplistic, but we are sooner or later we are also going to have a World of Warcraft fishing stream for a bit different fishing game, like, and try to get the fishing achievements sometime. Of course, the fishing simulator is mildly more advanced. Alright, not much. Let's try the other direction also for change a few times. So let's try and cast in this direction, like, let's see, at least didn't hit ground, so it's a good start, because there is a bit less water in this direction as far as can see, so alright, there's something going on. This game also models the water very neatly. Ah, largemouth bass. Now we caught. We only have to catch one more fish to finish the mudwater trial, so we have been doing very nice fishing also this time. So let's keep trying. Very nice that we actually have almost finished the mission on the mudwater river with the various fish you can catch here. So actually this setup worked surprisingly well. I was unsure if this fishing setup would be itself sufficient for catching all the fish from the mudwater river, but this went even surprisingly well in that respect, that almost done with the mission. So let's try a few casts more and see if we can get the bowfin, and later like get scientific about it another stream and check out what kind of like bait or lure the bowfin actually requires. Another largemouth bass. Wow, we certainly opened out on them. It's kind of a pretty, and we also certainly keep that. Another nice catch. So let's cast a few more times and see what we get. let's cast again and see. If we catch something. Alright, let's see. White crappie, nice. This is a release one because it's under 100. Not a trophy level white crappie, but still nice looking fish. Alright, pretty good fishing, certainly compared to sometimes in this game. Blue gill, haven't caught one of these before. Very interesting looking, elegant fish, and also release as it's under 100. Very nice fishing today, have to say. And again, reel it in and see. Clearly good fishing on the river for once. Really small fish. Young largemouth bass, so this is kind of like quite indeed rodent and short, and certainly release the young back into the river. We can even throw like at maximum power for this fisher level, at least here, without hitting ground, which is good to know, as it's hard to gauge the distance whether you end up on ground, for example. Alright, and another fish. Clearly really good fishing on the river, because exactly as the fish activity chart would predict. Alright. Another young largemouth bass that we certainly also release. And we are coming up to the 2.5 hour mark, so let's start finishing here. It's a pretty good length, as we are also approaching midnight, so we can pass the viewership on. So really thankful for all the support and positive attention, especially with the jackal and all tonight. So going to certainly appreciate that a lot. Very thankful for the support, and you all certainly deserve a big wave and pause for being so awesome viewers tonight, and very thankful for the support and wish every firm good night. And now we see who we shall raid tonight. Oh, Artiwolf is playing Euro Truck Simulator. That actually sounds pretty much up our alley. Let's see if he's still playing. That would be certainly one good also in terms of our gaming interests. Typically would be a good raid. Let's see. Yeah, it seems they are still playing. Yep. So let's go there. I'm sure they are apparently driving with like some civilian car, and of course they should be driving a big rig, so kind of confused, but let's go there and see for ourselves. Alright, let's see if that works, and of course going to give you a wave and wish every fair pleasant night, and our best wishes also for Artiwolf. Alright, there we go. Thank you all again for joining and all the support, and we'll hopefully see already tomorrow for some MTG. We'll see.